I am, or rather, I was Eli, the wine steward of Cana. That day, that wedding, it changed everything. The air was thick with anticipation as I surveyed the grand house, adorned for the most lavish wedding our town had seen in years. The scent of fresh bread and fragrant oils filled the air. Careful with those amphorae. This isn't some common tavern wine, it's fit for a king.
Eli, my friend, remember, this wedding is about more than perfect arrangements. It's about love, joy, and new beginnings.
I nodded, but in truth, his words barely registered. My mind was consumed with 1,000 details yet to be perfected. As I rushed through the sun-dappled courtyard, checking and rechecking every last detail, I barely noticed the arrival of a group that would change my life forever.
Thank you for welcoming us. My son and his friends are honored to join in the celebration.
And I gave them only a cursory glance. Little did I know that the unremarkable man at the center of the group was Jesus of Nazareth. Wine, bread, seating arrangements, everything must be flawless. In my haste, I nearly made a grave error. As I rushed past with a precious jar of wine, my sandal caught on a loose stone.
Peace, friend. Today is for joy, not worry.
Yes, thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, his touch, his words, they should have calmed me. But I was too blind, too focused on my own importance to see the miracle that stood before me. If only I had known then what I know now. But the day was young, and my greatest challenge and transformation was yet to come. The feast was in full swing, a symphony of laughter and clinking cups. The air was heavy with the scent of roasted meats and sweet spices. I allowed myself a moment of pride. Everything was perfect, or so I thought.
Master Eli, we have a problem. The wine, it's almost gone.
What? No, that's impossible. I calculated everything perfectly. In that moment, I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. My carefully constructed world was crumbling like a sandcastle against the tide. This can't be happening, not now, not to me. Please, let there be more. Think, Eli, think. There must be a solution. We can't let the guests know. The shame would be unbearable.
My son can help. He has a gift.
I scoffed at first. What could that unremarkable man possibly do? Turn water into wine? Ha! But desperation has a way of opening one's mind to unusual possibilities. Sir, we seem to have encountered a small problem with the wine supply. I've heard you might be able to assist us.
Fill the large stone jars with water.
Water? But that's not... how could that possibly... You heard him. Fill the jars with water. Quickly now. As I watched the servants hurry to obey, the sound of water splashing into the jars echoing in my ears, I felt a strange mix of hope and disbelief. Little did I know, I was about to witness something that would change not just the water, but my entire world forever. As the servants filled the jars with water, I couldn't help but notice how this Jesus interacted with everyone around him.
Love one another as you love yourselves. In this you'll find true joy.
Lofty words. But what about the wine? That's what brings joy to a wedding. And yet, as I watched him approach the jars, I felt a strange tension in the air, like the whole world was holding its breath.
It is done.
Just like that, but how?
Have faith, Eli. Now taste and see.
With trembling hands, I dipped a cup into the jar. The liquid looked like water, but the aroma... Oh, the aroma! This is impossible. It's the finest wine I've ever tasted.
What marvelous wine. How did you keep the best for last?
As the celebration erupted around me, I stood there, my world turned upside down. How could I reconcile what I'd just witnessed with everything I thought I knew? This defies all logic, all reason. And yet, I saw it with my own eyes. In that moment, I felt my carefully constructed worldview begin to crumble. If this was possible, what else had I been blind to?
Eli, I heard there was a problem with the wine earlier. What's the meaning of this?
There was a small issue, but as you can see, it's been resolved most unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly? I'll not have my daughter's wedding ruined by your incompetence. You'll never work as a steward again.
In that moment, caught between miracle and menace. I felt utterly lost. Everything I'd built my life upon seemed to be crumbling away. Who am I now? What do I believe? As the sounds of the feast faded around me, I found myself at a crossroads. The man I was and the man I could become stood on either side of an impossible miracle. You see, in that quiet corner, surrounded by the sounds of celebration, I found myself utterly alone with my thoughts. And let me tell you, it was not a comfortable place to be. Who am I? A man who knows the vintage of every wine, but not the value of true miracles. Oh, Eli, you fool. You've been so busy pouring wine you forgot to taste life. It was as if scales fell from my eyes. I saw myself as I truly was, a man so focused on the minutiae that he'd missed the magnificent. No more. It's time to embrace the impossible.
I thought I made myself clear.
Sir, please. What happened here today was not a failure, but a miracle. Your daughter's wedding will be remembered not for its wine, but for the presence of true divinity. Master, I don't know how to begin. What you did today, it's changed everything.
Eli, you've always had the gift of discernment. Now you're learning to see beyond the surface.
Please, I want to understand more to learn from you.
Then come, follow me. There's much work to be done.
And just like that, my life as I knew it ended. And a new one, full of purpose and wonder, began. As the celebration continued around us, I found myself standing among Jesus' disciples. Me, Eli, the wine steward of Cana, now part of something far greater than I could have ever imagined. Looking back now, I realized that the true miracle that day wasn't just the wine. It was the transformation of a heart, my heart.